Yes. And so I had been watching one of her videos, and literally, like Shannon said, it was over a year ago. And it was when she was talking about the dating and putting people in a box. It was like her box theory video. Well, so like, I don't know, like 2 weeks later, Shannon had gone on a date with some guy. I can't even remember what the situation was, but Shannon was down bad.
A Chicago guy.
Maybe. Shannon was down bad over this guy. She was like upset. She had her feelings hurt.
My feelings were hurt.
And her feelings were hurt. And me, you know, being the good friend that I am, I always love to give like data.
Advice.
Like I always have to give advice, like a story or something that I'm never going to be like, it's going to be okay. Like I always like to be like, you know why it's going to be okay?
Because XYZ.
This is why.
Yeah.
And I always have a reason. And I had just watched, it was like right when the box theory came out, I just watched Tink's video and I told Shannon, I'm like, you know what, Shannon, I actually would there's this girl I follow on TikTok and she just posted this TikTok saying, you know, if you're in a box.
She didn't send me the TikTok. She just explained it to me.
I just told her, and I didn't even say Tink's name. I literally was just like, I just saw this girl's video. It really resonated with me. And I gave Shannon the advice literally in a moment.
The box theory, by the way.
In a moment of her sadness, trying to cheer her up. There was never like a, yeah, it was just very casually, organically in conversation. I was like,
that makes so much sense. That made me feel so much better.
And
you know what? I couldn't agree more with that theory.
Right.
That theory, I believe, very true.
So that happened. Shannon gets on with it. She starts talking to someone else. Fast forward several months later. That's when, and we never spoke of it again.
No.
I'm still the TikTok queen. She's still IG story ho. Fast forward a few months later, Shannon does a Q&A on her story.
I do Q&As on my story all the time.
And I had accidentally, you guys don't understand, I want to say one of the things that's important. When you're a content creator and you consume so much content, it really starts getting confusing when you hear things, whether, was that an original idea I had, or did I say that, or did I see that?
Subconsciously.
Or sometimes we all kind of say the same things when
you know
we're
what's
talking about
crazy?
dating.
A lot of people will be like, what's your favorite podcast? I go, I listen to podcasts sometimes if someone will send one to me. I try not to listen to too many because I'm stressed out that I might consume something and then like subconsciously say it on mine. And I would be bothered if
she's really good about being like, I don't listen to anything. That's kind of how I am about a lot of the stuff I've been making on YouTube and TikTok. Like I try not to watch exactly what someone else is doing because I don't want to start like thinking, oh, that's the only way you can do it and start mimicking it. So anyways, that's why I feel a little guilty because that's where I come into play.
You're not guilty. It's okay.
Because Shannon posts this on her story.
Okay.
Shannon.
If you're watching this on YouTube, we'll flash up the screenshot of it because I want to be very transparent about the whole thing. So this is October like 28th or something. On my questionnaire, someone asks, is sleeping with someone on the first day okay? My response in a text bubble says, I can't speak on sleeping with women, but as far as men are concerned, I think they put you in a box pretty early on. You're either someone they see something further than a one night stand with or not. Sleeping with them on the first date won't change your box. So that is her, right? I remember hearing that from Anna Grace, totally resonating with it, agreeing with it. That's where the next part.
That's where like that thought came from.
That's where that thought originated, right? I totally agreed with it, resonated with it, and I said it again. And then the rest of it is, as far as I know and am concerned, just coming out of my brain. I say, I used to think, because this is true. I totally used to think this about sleeping with people on the first date. I'd be like, if I don't sleep with them on the first date and hold out for like 3 weeks, then they'll like me more. That's just not fucking true.
Yeah.
That's why the box theory resonated with me so hard because it's true. It's not how men's small little, sorry if you're a man listening to this, it's not how your small little fucking brains work.
Men are either looking to bae you up or not.
Well, they're all looking to fuck you, and it's whether or not after y'all fuck, they decide they want to be with you or not. It does not have to do with if you sleep with them on the first date. It just doesn't, okay? So whoever says that she packaged it up nicely with a bow and a theory, and I totally resonate with it, but that's just like also facts.
Yeah.
Like that's just how men operate. So then I proceed to say, I used to think that holding out would make someone like you more, but honestly, I think it just further prolongs the end result of that box that you're already in my opinion. I view sex very intimately, but I also don't think that it's a deal breaker for shit on the front end. Do what you're comfortable with, but don't make it your chess piece to get a dude to like you. It's not going to work like that. Also, I don't know how to play chess, so that analogy could be off. Then I put another text box at the bottom that says, essentially what I'm saying is don't give up or withhold sex for any reason. Just do what feels right in the moment. Overthinking it always gets sticky. You start creating scenarios that aren't real, and the results of the relationship are always going to play out regardless of sex, because sex is not the most important part of a relationship. Okay. So whether you sleep with them on the first date, and I have so many friends that are married.
It's good advice.
Thank you. I thought it was too. I have friends that are married that are like, I slept with my husband on the first date. Okay?
I know so
many people. So I agree. It's not a thing.
No.
So, okay.
So Shannon posts that because she started getting some DMs, and then she calls me at the mall.
I get, and I want to be completely clear. I get 2 DMs, but I check my DMs. If you DM me, unless it's like my birthday or something where I'm getting like inundated with a million, I look at my DMs, my message request, and I had seen 2. So because it was 2 in a row, and because Tinks is such an interesting name, they stuck out to me. And also one of them was mean. One of them was like, LOL, you totally stole this from Tinks. You should credit her. And I was like, huh? Tinks, what? And then
so she called me.
The next one just said like, I love Tinks box theory. Is that what this is from?
Okay.
And then I was like, twice, I was like, who is Tinks? So thinking Anna Grace, I remember I had heard the theory from her. I call Anna Grace.
So she calls me and she's like, hey, this is like so weird. Do you know who Tinks is? I was like, yeah, oh my gosh, I love her. I follow her on TikTok. And Shannon's kind of like, okay, well, like, what's her Instagram handle? Because Shannon's like, I'll tag her because a lot of people are referencing this.
I felt embarrassed immediately.
People immediately were like, oh, that's the thing. And Shannon's like, oh shit, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to do that.
Immediately, I go, oh shit.
And I was kind of like, oh yeah, like that's what she said.
And so maybe that's why you feel guilty. But she goes, oh yeah, sorry, I should have told you. That's from Tinks. Yeah, go. And I go, well, I'll just go link it and say if you guys want to listen to the whole box series,
so
here it is.
Shannon's going to list the whole box series because she did a good breakdown.
And
on her
look
TikTok.
at me. I was obviously going to do that. Like,
so Shannon, I start going, yeah, her Instagram handle is whatever.
It's me, Tinks. Yeah.
So, and so Shannon's like, weird. It keeps saying user not found.
User not found. So I was like,
and I'm like,
send me one of her posts. So she DMs it to me. It says like not available. And I'm like, ooh. So then I go to my podcast page because I have a podcast, follow at Probably the Podcast on Instagram. Plug. Shameless plug. And I go to that. She pops right up. I was like, oh, be damned.
And I'm literally like, she blocked you.
And my face gets red because I'm just so embarrassed. Like, I'm just really embarrassed.
Shannon and I really are very supportive of
every content creator. Yeah, I just
because people steal our stuff. We get it.
It just happens in life, and I wouldn't even use the word stealing. Like, life just happens, and we consume so much, and then we regress so much. Like, we regurgitate it all, and it can just trends for a reason, and all these things just happen. So I'm just very embarrassed. I'm very embarrassed, and I don't know what to do. I talk to Anna Grace. I basically decide
I turn into her PR person because keep in mind, like I've been following Tinks forever,
and she's like, I love her. She's like, you should reach out and apologize, and I go, I will. Oh, I will totally do that. Yes. I'll totally do that. And I go, I should do that, right? And I go, is that weird? She goes, she blocked you. I think you should reach out. I go, I'm going to reach out.
I was like, maybe just like cleared up that it was totally a misunderstanding.
And here's the thing. I am such a proponent of being like, fuck that. They're fucking dumb. They want to do this. This was not a moment like that. I was like, oh my God, I feel so bad. Let me make sure she knows that.
And Shannon's got a place in New York. We're all going to be.
Yeah. We have a lot of mutual. I immediately was like, oh my God, she knows this friend of mine, this friend of mine, this friend of mine. I stopped myself from asking any or telling any of them. Like, I felt like awkward. So I was like, I'm just going to message her how I would talk to anybody else, like a friend.
Right.
So I sent her a DM from my podcast page. If you're watching on YouTube, we will post it right now. I send her a message on my podcast page and I say, hi, it's Shannon Ford. I'm messaging from my podcast page and just wanted to reach out because I got some DMs saying that I should credit Tinks for the box analogy that I referenced on an Instagram question I did. And I truly did not realize it was your content. And had I known, I would always credit another creator for their work. One of my friends told me about the box analogy / theory a while ago, and I so strongly resonated with it, but I never actually saw the content myself. So I didn't make the connection, which is true.
It was my fault.
No, it's not your fault. I said, so I didn't make the connection that it came from you. Today, when I got a couple DMs, I was like, oh, damn, this must be the podcast. Also, I said podcast. It's a TikTok.
Shannon really was so clueless.
Okay. So
She's
I said,
like, your podcast.
I said, this must be the podcast this originated from. Let me go credit her. But then I realized that you had blocked me. I just wanted to apologize because that is not the way that I move or operate in this space at all. I totally get being frustrated with someone for not giving credit where credit's due, but I want you to know that there was no malice or intentional discredit of you and your work from my end at all. It really was an innocent mistake. I hope you understand where I'm coming from, and sorry again for any frustration this caused because I would probably feel the same way. I always give credit and would still love to link the full I said podcast again. I would still love to link. Damn it. I really didn't know.
She's like,
I said I would still love to link the full podcast that you break this theory down on because I obviously so strongly agree with it.
Right.
Okay. I send that. Now here's where maybe my Southern came in a little bit because then I sent her a voicemail. I'll play it. You know what?
Because also I'm like, Shannon, we gotta fix this.
And I just felt awkward and bad. So I also sent her a 20-second voice memo. And I think putting your voice and stuff, it makes...
Well, because sometimes you don't know if someone's texting you. Are they mad? Are they being bitchy? Are they being passive aggressive?
I read that
was very
DM kind. Just now to you guys in my voice. But who knows if Tinks read that in a different voice. Because texting is difficult. So I thought, let me give her my voice. Okay.
Let me send a voice memo.
Okay, I actually haven't listened to this since October 29th.
I'm like
21. I know, I am kind of too. My face is kind of red. Okay, here is the audio message I sent. Again, probably doing a little too much here, but whatever.
I also saw that we have some mutual friends in, I guess, like the industry or life in general, overall. And I promise if you ask them about me, they'd be like, oh my God, no, she's not a raging twat. She's not like that. So I really am genuinely sorry. I like to send voice notes so people know that I am indeed not a terrible person. But I really am sorry that it was perceived that way. I never ever want anyone to think that.
Okay, so that's what I said, and I wholeheartedly meant that. We have a lot of
Shannon
mutual
and
friends.
Literally, we really did we were very thoughtful. I was helping her craft
this. And you know what? Here's the thing, and this is the truth of the matter. After I sent that, I felt way better about it. And I never heard from her. She never addressed it. She never messaged me back. She totally acted like it didn't happen. And I know because she says often that she looks at all of her DMs. It is a giant picture of me in a rainbow dress that says Shannon Ford, probably podcast. So like, here's the thing. Can I 100% assume she saw it? No. Could she totally come out and be like, I never got that message, never saw it? She could say that. I just don't believe that to be true.
Well,
I think she just chose to like ignore it. But like, I don't know. I guess I was just so apologetic and so genuine that it's not that it bummed me out, because I'm actually not bummed about it. I just was like, yeah, that's how she wants to respond to it.
Well, it kind of bummed me out because I always loved her so much.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I just have always heard such great things about it. It just kind of, it bummed me out because I was like, I guess it did bum me out. Yeah, because I was just like, it's just a bummer that I went out of my way to just really genuinely express to her that like this was such a sincere accident. And a lot of people, I know a lot of people who would have been like, fuck her, she blocked you, who gives a fuck? And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to like really like let her know where my head was at here.
Because
I was assumed we'd run into her one day.
And then I just knew, I was like, I swear, Tweedledee and Tweedleding ding, we're going to be together when it happens. And let me tell you what, we were in a random neighborhood, literally a blip in our trip. We were just passing by a restaurant. Shannon and I are just in our own little worlds. We're not even looking around. And we were with two other friends who were very kind and lovely. And one of them says like, hey, I guess it was, she said, hey, and we
Someone
all
said,
stopped.
hey, and
we all stopped because
I was
we
like,
weren't paying attention.
She knows someone here.
She has a friend here. And she turns around and literally turns around and looks at me, and it's Tinks. And I'm like, I literally
But in such an intimate setting, like not like at
So
Coachella,
intimate,
not like
small,
at an event
quiet.
in New York. It was like no one else was at this really outdoor restaurant but her and us
literally
walking by.
and also it was so out of context for me. I was like shook. Like she turned around and like stared me in the eyeballs, and I was like, I just started smiling like a buffoon because I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna kill her with kindness. What? Like,
well, that's what we always do, anyways. Yeah.
Then, like, also, then part of me was like, there's no way she even knows who we are, but she definitely did. Because
you think she did?
Well, she definitely like there was.
Well, she definitely gave us the cold shoulder.
She did well, and Shannon's going. Okay, let me give the breakdown. So there's one kind, beautiful friend to the left, me, Shannon, another kind, beautiful friend to the right, and she says hi to the friend on the left. The friend's like, this is Anna Grace and Shannon. She really just didn't acknowledge us at all.
I'm not sure if she even said anything back to that.
I don't think she said anything. Like,
I think she just said hi. I think she just said hi, and then
nothing.
She started just like,
and then started talking to the other, like skipped over us, and then started talking to the other friend to our right. So we were, and I'm just smiling. I'm just smiling at everyone.
And I'm just listening.
Her and her whole PR team
like,
were just like, I'm just standing there. And then Shannon walks in, and Shannon always goes, do you think that people recognize me? I'm like, Shannon, you are literally, she walked away like the similar time when the freaking, I said dove earlier, pigeon hit her in the face.
Yeah.
And she didn't react. And I looked at her like, did a pigeon just hit you in the face, or am I hallucinating?
Because friend that we were with also knows that this girl is blocked me, knows the story. And so we walk away, and as soon as we get far enough away that's like appropriate, Anna Grace and her go, and I go,
I'm shook. I'm just like,
I was like, it's fine. I was like, that's the best case scenario. She wasn't like, no one's
Shannon's like, I don't think she knew it was me. And I'm like,
what are we gonna do? Throw bows? Square up? No. Obviously we were both just gonna be like, hi, how are you? But like, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. And here's the thing. I'll say this much. You guys, it was almost as if as soon as she blocked me, which again, this all happened last October. She's really blown up in the last 6 months.
I would say in the last few months, people have really, because of the New York connection.
Yeah, and people all post like, who should have my podcast? And you guys are like, Tinks. And now it's always like, not comical, but it's kind of comical. Like every time I'm like, good. There have been so many times during the questionnaire that I'm like, who should I have on my podcast? That I've been so close to posting, like, can't, she blocked me, like with a thumbs up. But then I'm like, I don't, again, my Instagram is my Instagram. This podcast is like more of my, like, I feel like my safe space. And I feel like if you're listening to this podcast and you get all the way through an hour or whatever, you actually are here, you're riding with me, or you're fucking with me. So I'm going to give you guys that tea. It's a big bummer.
Yeah,
we're
not going to talk about it on Instagram. We would never.
Yeah. And I'm not here to like,
well, we're not trying to bully her or
absolutely
anything. Like,
God, you read the message, couldn't be less. And I don't want this story. I was like groveling. Like
we were like begging.
Me, like, a groveler.
I enjoed your content, but now I'm just like, she's like, fuck you, Anna Grace. I'm like, I was a fan before.
Don't meet your heroes, kids. No,
don't meet your heroes.
No, you'll get blocked by your heroes. No, I didn't. I don't. Also, the last thing I want this to come across as is like, I didn't know who she was, but like, here's the fact of the matter. Like, I just didn't.
I know you didn't because I'm your best friend.
I didn't consume her content that way.
Well, now you don't consume TikTok. If you're not on TikTok, you don't know who Tinks is really. I mean, now you would.
She blew up, totally from this last October, and I'm sure she has great content. I'm sure that I don't know what I did to trigger the block, I guess I do know, but I don't know. I don't know really where her headspace was at there. She could come out and say, my fucking assistant did that. I don't know who you are, you little redheaded twat. But I also don't believe that.
She was kind of mean to us in person.
She just was very dismissive. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she acted like we weren't there. So I don't know.
She talked through us. It's, it's fine. It's all Gucci, baby. It's all gravy, baby.